This is TWiT.
You hear a lot of people saying, I mean, you don't hear it so much anymore because, you know, a lot of they've been scolded for it. But you hear a lot of people saying, like, we want a diverse workforce, but we don't want to lower the bar. And a lot of what you've written about is that, you know, just how offensive that is. And really what you're talking about is giving people access to this talent that is already there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that always struck me about that phrase, kind of lowering the bar, is, you know, first of all, I've never heard anyone say that about a white man. I would hire more white people, but I don't want to lower the bar. Or I would hire more men, but, you know, we can't drop our standards. The quality of folks who are in the majority group or in positions of power is assumed, and the quality of folks who are not present is doubted. And so that's one of the ways in which this kind of shows up, is just that doubt that someone who has not already made it could possibly make it. But really what we discovered when we dug deeper with companies is that even the companies who were saying something like that, or who had representatives who were saying something like that, actually then couldn't go on to define what the bar even was. So there was this mythical bar they were worried about lowering, but they didn't actually even have the ability to say, well, this is the bar and, you know, these are the qualifications. And a lot of times part of what was happening was that because the types of qualifications required for a given role were not super well defined, it left too much wiggle room for people to just make choices they felt more comfortable with, or to not go out and sort of push themselves to source and vet and understand talent that didn't come from backgrounds that they were familiar with. And so some of the work that we've done with companies is saying, you know, nobody's saying that you have to lower the bar, but actually it probably is a good idea to create an understanding of, like, what are the actual qualifications required for a given role? Because then when you see someone from a background that maybe doesn't look familiar to you, or maybe you wouldn't assume that that person would kind of have what it takes, you can actually measure them against some objective qualifications. And that can really help with kind of the fairness in your sourcing and hiring. So we actually had a group of about 9 companies who had hiring managers and engineering leads who came to our office over the course of several months and actually challenged all of their assumptions about what their bar was and what their companies needed when it came to entry-level talent, because they found that in a lot of cases that work just hadn't been done. And because of that, there were a lot of sort of ad hoc decisions being made, which didn't lead to the most inclusive and equitable kind of distribution of opportunity. And so they actually threw out their entry-level hiring processes and rebuilt from the ground up. And in the case of Medium, who's been a company partner for a really long time, a great partner, they published what they did. So now their entry-level hiring process is published on Medium. And anyone can see that, which has the added benefit of meaning that you don't need to have a friend who works there already to know what the interview process looks like. You can actually just go on their website and read it through, and everyone gets access to the same information. So we have seen companies kind of get past that mentality or design for a better mentality that isn't this kind of, I don't want to lower the bar. But you still hear that from time to time, that kind of conflation of diversity with kind of degrading in quality, which is both untrue and offensive.